The goal for this episode is to simply show you how easy it is to make a video using you can use your cell phone, use an iPad, use a laptop with a camera in it, any of those things. You don't need a big fancy studio or anything like that. I know we're using a real cheap camera right now with a little backdrop that's just thrown up there.
Oftentimes we can't get into the lab, or it's not going to be convenient to have students right next to each other in the lab. And so we would just want to show you how easy it is to record yourself and provide information for your students to get data from a lab and perform the lab.
We have two clips in there, short clips just showing you the setup of how we started. One is me teaching a demo, and the other is Sarah starting an actual lab. Both these are things that we're creating virtual. And cell phones, we really super simple. Remember, keep it simple. Don't overthink these. I know you want labs for your students and you want to be able to do the virtual options and be able to set this up, but you don't have to overthink it. You can really turn your stuff that you enjoy teaching these labs, you can turn them into a virtual option, all of them, really easily. Don't overthink it. We're going to show you two clips and then do a quick discussion on other options. So to do the setup, we found a little tripod, which is kind of nice, and a little cell phone holder, which is very inexpensive. And so if you don't have that, you can prop it up. That's fine. And so I'm going to go ahead and start recording. And all I can really see is my setup, because that's all they need to see is the lab itself. They don't need to see a bunch of other things. And so now I can see the lab. I can see what we have. And so with this, we'll start explaining to our students as we start creating this lab. We'll explain to the students, and I'm capturing right here. Now I can do the voiceover as we go, or I can wait and do a voiceover later. The easiest, just basic, put your phone up, put your lab material, whatever lab material you're having them do, and then just go through and explain it as you go. Then you don't have to edit anything. You upload that to your Google Drive, to your Google Classroom, your Canvas, whatever your learning management system is.
Today we're going to calculate the half-life of barium-137 isogenerator. And to begin, we want to make sure that we take a background count of radiation.
All right, so this is a really good way. If you're wanting to do an introduction so they understand how the lab works, do a whole picture. And then you can see on the table, we actually have a cell phone there showing just the one thing, the lab.
The students, once they get to the point, they're just going to need to collect that data. So what you could do is, once you get past the introduction, zero in on the display, so that way the students can see what those numbers are, they can record those, and they can move on with the lab.
Yeah. Or you could use these just as taking pictures, right?
Yeah, you could use still shots and then do a voiceover on those. And again,
you don't have to use voiceover at that point.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Right.
Because we talked about you could just once you do the intro, then just take pictures of the different data points. And so then here's an example of where we put those pictures into a lab. And so what Sarah had just said, take 3 background counts. We took a picture of each of those 3 counts. Now on the bottom of this lab, they still have to calculate what the average background is.
Right.
It just, instead of hitting the button themselves, they saw Sarah hit the button, because we can't have them in the lab, obviously. And so this is a good way of doing it. Then they have the rest of the lab themselves that they'll have to fill out once they have all that data.
Yes.
So for a lot of things, I mean, okay, if you want to do a video introduction, do that. But you can do a lot with still pictures. Or, like I said, you can do the whole video introduction like we did, use the
like a tripod and a cell phone, so they can get the initial picture and they see what the setup looks like, and then cut to the still pictures.
If you don't have a tripod, don't sweat it. Just prop it up on something, have someone hold it, or something like that. It doesn't need to be a huge fancy recording. It doesn't need to be a big production. This is something very simple. Remember, your goal is not to make some monumental educational thing that's going to be picked up by whatever company, insert company name here. But your goal is to help the kids learn.
Yep, to show the kids, think about what you would want them to see, what you would want them to know at the end, and then giving them that opportunity to view the data and collect the data.
Very good. Thank you very much.